me burp for good. Alright, cool. Yo, what's up, bro? Profound.
What's going on, man?
You good?
A1, man.
Yeah, I mean, first
Always.
of all, I guess congratulations on winning the the Joburg regionals, right? Remy Martin producers, that took place at Taboo. That shit was crazy. I was there.
Thank you, man.
Some of my friends were there, and I think before we get into like that experience or that moment, when you sort of like took the crown at Taboo, let's get to know a little bit more about you.
Yeah.
Who Profound is. How Profound started making beats. How Profound started producing records for artists. Could you just give us like a little narration?
Okay,
with regards to your story.
Yeah. So Profound is a kid that comes from a small town, very small town called Carltonville. It's like a taxi away from here, right? And I'm an introverted person, so I never used to like go out a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And then at some point, like my parents, they bought a second-hand PC, and on this PC there was like a FL Studio demo, but I actually didn't know what FL Studio was. So I was opening this thing and I was like, okay, what is this? So now, for the first time, I could actually like hear what's going on and actually see what's going on. And I didn't know what to call that, but like it created an interest because it was like, oh, maybe this is how people make music. And I come from a musical home also. Okay. So as a kid, like music was always playing in the house, and like when I was going to school, I was always beatboxing my favorite songs, and so I think the curiosity to create music has come from a very young age. And discovering that you can actually make music from the comfort of your own home was like my aha moment. Yeah. So I started making beats on that PC, but the PC was hella slow. Nothing came out of that, and I eventually ruined the PC because when you start getting internet and stuff, now you download everything now.
Amen.
You know what I mean? Then I got like high school. Around high school, it was it's time to choose careers now. I had an interest in sound engineering. Folks were like, nah, it's not gonna work. I was like, it's fine, I'll sound engineer by myself. And I kept it moving.
When you mean a sound engineer by yourself, self-taught?
Yes, I'm very self-taught.
Okay.
I've never been to any music school. I've never been to any sound engineering school. I don't know anything about a textbook regarding music. Everything I do comes from my head and the internet. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I've just been making stuff by myself for years, just locking in, not going out. I was the kid in front of the PC.
It's quite interesting for me that you're sort of like able to produce house records, hip hop records, and during the the competition at Taboo there, I mean you were the first one to jump on, right?
Yeah.
And you came in strong, like you wasted no time. Homie played hip hop beats, played some house records, boom. Your friends were there screaming like girls in front. I was a witness.
Wow.
Let's talk about how you. Okay, first of all, what sort of like drove you to actually enter the Remy Producers competition?
First of all, there's not a lot of opportunities for producers in South Africa, and there's not a lot of opportunities that are of the magnitude of making a song with Ricky Rick, or at least being able to enter a studio with people who have actually been participating in the industry, like Master A Flat. This is somebody who's been making AKA's entire catalog. Why would you as a producer not wanna, you know what I'm saying? So that's really the motivation behind it, but also it's beyond the competition for me. For me, it's also like I don't know who's gonna be in the building when I play my beat, but I know that it's the right people that I may need in the future. And so this is also a showcase for me to also be able to introduce my sound.
How did you prepare, like for the finale? Like what was going through your head when you're preparing the beat, or your set? How did you prepare your set? What was going through your head?
Actually, like it's not really a set, right? It's actually a 5-minute beat. It's just that, like I changed the tempo in the beat, but it's one file. I didn't make multiple beats because some people think I actually played a set. And it's actually one 5-minute beat. It's one project, one song.
It was just one beat, just transitioning to other sounds and tempos.
Yes. And so my goal was to showcase my diversity, and it was also to highlight the most prominent aspects of my sound, being drums and ambience, and then combining those two flavors and adding a little bit of you know, like adding a South African theme to it as well, because I used a very popular chant, we all do it in the club, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I added that as well. So that was kind of what I was looking for. I was just looking for a way to introduce profound, to be very straight to the point, but to also be able to highlight what I can do on a large scale.
I remember like when you, after you came on and the other guys came on, it was sort of like clear that okay, cool. But then the judges, like Master A Flat and Ricky, you know, came through and gave the other guys an opportunity to come through. And when we were talking about it before we started rolling, like it's intellectual, right? Intellectual came through with some crazy vibe, and you were like, "Yo, were you a bit nervous when he came through that heat? Cause that beat was fire that he played through."
Let me tell you, shout out to Intellectual, man.
Yeah.
It's actually crazy. Like me and Infra are actually familiar with each other. Before this competition, we're actually familiar with each other. So, you know, yeah, dude. The thing is also, most of the producers, you know, they kind of went the predictable way. You know, Intellectual's second beat was something I didn't even
expect.
You understand? And I feel like that's the standout. That's the X factor producers should have. We should be able to throw curveballs that make everybody go. Like I always say, if you hear the sound and then you see the face and you go, you're the guy that made that, you're doing a good job. And Infra did that. He really blew me away.
How did you feel when you were announced as the winner? How did you feel?
A lot of emotions, man.
Yeah.
A lot of emotions. You know, as a producer also, you must remember my whole life, I've been behind people. I've never been the guy in front. So just being, this is the first time in my entire life that I've actually been appreciated for doing something alone.
That's crazy.
Without anybody else involved. So just that feeling of actually being able to accomplish something one man, like it really made me go home, and it really made me feel like, you know what, dude, like anybody can doubt you, but as long as you believe, my nigga, like you're gonna go very far.
It's crazy, man. Last question, obviously you're not the winner.
Yes.
You know? The competition is still going out to Cape Town, to Durban.
Yeah, man.
And then there's gonna be like you know, a huge finale.
Yeah,
I mean, how are you preparing for, you know, for that showcase or showdown? You know, what's Profound doing? Are you meditating? You drinking more Remy Martin? What's going on?
Profound is still remaining a student of the game. I'm still keeping the strategy the same. I'm studying my favorite producers. I'm listening to what I'm studying what's new. I'm actually taking time out to also, you know, really focus on real life and smell the roses. Because I feel like sometimes when we're here at Egoli and we're hustling, we kind of forget to take a time out and actually pat ourselves on the back and be human and be a son and be a brother, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to make sure there's a lot of positivity around me so that when I go in the final, I go in with the right mindset.